Beyond the Limit: How to Break Barriers and Achieve More with the Power of Perseverance. Written and published by MSC Boost. Chapter 1: The Anatomy of Perseverance. Understanding the Inner Strength. Perseverance can be defined as inner strength. The important question to ask is, what makes it work? What kind of elements is it made from? We'll be doing a dissection of perseverance in this chapter. This will include the emotional and psychological components. You'll also discover the motivations and driving forces of building a persevering mindset. You'll also learn why self-belief and optimism plays a role. If you want to know the true nature of perseverance and where it comes from, this chapter is for you. Let's begin right now. What are the psychological and emotional aspects of perseverance? To begin, perseverance has one major psychological aspect that may be considered the main catalyst. That is the growth mindset. Those with a growth mindset will exercise the beliefs that their abilities are developed through regular practice and refining. Through effort, learning, and practice, you'll be able to push through any challenge. Meanwhile, you'll have a willingness to learn about the setbacks that occurred and how to avoid them in the long run. You will also maintain a positive attitude while maintaining focus on your goals. You will have the belief in improving in yourself while being persistent in reaching your goals. This also includes finding alternative solutions, albeit creative ones. Emotional intelligence is key when it comes to perseverance. This allows you to recognize, understand, and manage your own emotions. At the same time, you'll learn how to empathize with others and understand what they are feeling. Those with high emotional intelligence can be able to regulate their emotions. This can be a huge plus when you are dealing with adversity. You will be able to handle stress better, maintain your composure, and make rational decisions even if the challenges seem tough. Understanding emotions, be it your own or someone else's, will certainly be key when building perseverance. Not to be outdone, it can also be a huge plus if you are working in a team setting. When you work together, you still will face challenges. The real question is, how can you and the team handle them? If you're a team leader, it is important to get your members involved as much as possible to create a solution. At the same time, you want to keep an eye on how they are communicating with one another. It may also help to notice any verbal or non-verbal communications as well. Someone may feel like they're okay, but their actions may tell a different story. Highly emotional, intelligent people may be able to tell that something might be off. They may notice someone might be feeling negative, and it may be a good idea to talk about what's going on. It takes empathy to know what's going on, and you can find a solution to help them exude a more positive emotion. Even if it means allowing them to take a break or a mental health day, the best course of action should be taken. With that in mind, resilient individuals won't be immune from negative emotions. However, they will have the ability to cope with and overcome them. They will see setbacks as temporary things and opportunities for growth. When it comes to emotions, having a support system is helpful. Later on in the book, we will discuss extensively about how to build one. What are the motivating and driving forces behind a persevering mindset? There are several motivating and driving forces that are responsible for a personal mindset. They include, but are not limited to, the following: passion and purpose, self-belief and confidence, resilience, goal clarity and planning, optimism and a positive mindset, a strong support system, a growth mindset, past successes and achievements, external motivation. We'll discuss most of these later on throughout the book. However, the next section will be dedicated to breaking down two of these elements: self-belief and optimism. If perseverance is a car, self-belief is the engine while optimism is fuel. Without them both, it can't run. That is why if you believe in yourself positively, you'll be able to persevere. With optimism, you know that there is always a way forward. You don't care about time. You don't care about how it gets done. You just know that there is an end to the goal, and that is achieving it no matter what. When you put self-belief and optimism together, perseverance is factored by several different psychological and emotional elements. The important thing to have is a growth mindset. It also helps to have self-belief and optimism as well. To know what perseverance is made of, you simply just reverse engineer it and break it down bit by bit. With a high level of emotional intelligence, self-belief, and being able to adapt and adjust in the face of challenges, persevering is easy enough. Chapter 2. Breaking the barriers. Overcoming self-doubt and fear. The barriers we will face in our intent to succeed can show up from anywhere. Either they are man-made through our own mistakes or beyond our control. Regardless, we are going to face them at any point on the journey. The point we're getting at is barriers are not as impossible to get through as people think. This chapter will prove that is the case. You'll learn about how self-doubt and fear are just two big things that are temporary. We'll identify common self-limiting beliefs and learn the common strategies that will help you overcome them. You'll learn how to use fear to help you grow as a person. And finally, you'll learn how to develop positive self-talk and reframing techniques to help boost your confidence. After this chapter, you'll plow through barriers like a hot knife through butter. Let's get started. There are several common self-limiting beliefs that we'll be listing down below. We'll also include the strategies that you can use to keep them out. Cutting to the chase, here we go. I'm not good enough. The best strategy for this is to practice self-compassion and self-acceptance. Assess and acknowledge your strengths and accomplishments. Focus on your personal growth and challenge any negative self-talk that arrives. Afraid of failure. First off, don't mistake setbacks for failure. Second, consider setbacks as a learning opportunity. Don't be afraid to take small risks, set achievable goals, and celebrate the wins. I don't deserve success. Recognize your value. Challenge your belief that success is for other people. Remind yourself of your past accomplishments. As always, self-care is important along with reaching out to your support group. I'm not talented skilled enough. Know that skills and abilities are not given or something you're born with. You need to practice and apply constantly. Adopting a growth mindset and focusing on continuous learning will be the best option. Seek feedback if needed. I should always please others. You want to prioritize your needs and values. Meanwhile, setting healthy boundaries is necessary. You can say no when you believe something isn't the best course of action. Above all, embrace your authentic self. It also helps to celebrate progress, whether it's a small win or a large one. Overcoming your self-limiting beliefs will require consistent effort and self-reflection. Be sure to practice self-care at all times. Visualize your success and seek support from those in your support system that can be able to help. Fear is natural, and it's something that we'll experience in our lifetime. The important thing to be aware of is that at some point, we're going to face it. Acknowledge and accept that fear exists. Resisting it and avoiding it will hinder growth rather than help. You want to use fear as a compass that will help guide your actions. In terms of what you are afraid of, be specific. What's holding you back from getting something done? It's important to consider creating a plan and addressing them. This includes documenting your goals and breaking them down into smaller ones. It's always a good idea to take calculated risks. This will help you get experience while having the opportunity to learn how to grow. If you slip up somewhere, learn about what happened, how it happened, and how to prevent it from happening again. As always, seeking support from others who have faced similar fears and who have conquered them will help. Here are ways to develop self-talk and reframing techniques that will help build up your confidence, part by part. Be aware. You need to be aware of your self-talk patterns. Notice when negative thoughts arise and how they affect your mood. Acknowledge without judgment and move on. Positive affirmations. Start getting into the habit of reciting positive affirmations on a regular basis. Say something like, I embrace challenges, or I believe in myself, among others. Challenge negative thoughts. If a negative thought pops up, challenge them with evidence of the contrary. Replace them with more realistic and positive thoughts. Instead of, I always mess up, say, I've made mistakes, but I learn from them. Journal regularly. Documenting how you're feeling or thinking is always a good idea. You can also use this as an opportunity to challenge self-talk. Your ability to break barriers starts in your mind. You will need to identify the common self-limiting beliefs. When you do, follow the designated strategy to help beat the fear. Can be used as a guiding tool for your success. Don't avoid it, embrace it. It's also a good idea to utilize self-talk on a regular basis. Our challenge for you is simple. Find a few positive affirmations and recite them. If there are negative thoughts, be sure to catch them. Turn them on their head and recite positives instead. Keep doing this, and the ability to maintain that positive mindset will be like second nature. Chapter 3. The journey begins. Setting bold goals and embracing challenges. At this point, you now have the ability to acknowledge the barriers, and you are able to get through them no problem. Now, we move forward to begin another part of your journey. This chapter will cover how you can set challenging goals that will help you build and utilize your perseverance. You'll also learn how to create a clear vision and an actionable plan that you can follow step by step. Let's dive right into this chapter, so you can start setting goals as soon as today. The sooner, the better. Here we go. It's one thing to set small, actionable goals that are less challenging. However, upping the level of challenge is another. You want the goals to be achievable, but challenging enough for you to test your perseverance. This will give you the opportunity to build up more of it as you go. Think about it. You are motivated and focused on your goals, but at the same time, you're looking to test your limits and expand your capabilities. At that point, you'll be developing new skills and gaining new levels of confidence. You will also give yourself the opportunity to get creative or even invent new solutions. You'll never know if and when you discover something unconventional or out of the box. This will help you build that resilience while adapting to new changes brought on by challenges. Furthermore, it will help you improve continuously. It's the kind of cycle that allows us to keep being lifelong learners. When it comes to setting goals, it takes planning. You want to be as clear as you can get. There shouldn't be any murkiness when you are outlining them. So, let's put together the pieces of this puzzle right now. Define clear and specific goals. As we've mentioned, you need to be as clear and specific as possible. You don't want it to be vague. So, for example, instead of lose weight, go with lose 30 pounds in 6 months. Notice how the numbers play a role. It implies a specific goal being completed in a specific amount of time. Break down the goals. You have a major goal, but breaking them down into smaller ones will be key. This will give you the opportunity of outlining how you are going to achieve the goal. So for losing weight, it can be going to the gym for an hour and a half per day, 5 times a week. Another can be eating 3 high-protein meals per day. Identify possible obstacles. If you can identify the obstacles that will set back, you can make a plan to tackle them if and when they pop up. Create a timeline. Creating a timeline to let you know when to reach a certain goal by a specific time is key. This will allow you to outline the smaller goals that make up the larger one. It will be your roadmap for progress and help you stay organized and on track. Monitor and adjust. Monitoring and adjusting when and where possible is something you'll want to do. It's always a good idea to keep track of your progress. If you are performing less than expected, find out what might be the problem. Identify the issue, make the necessary adjustment, and maintain the course. Celebrate the wins. This will help fuel your ongoing journey. It will also reinforce your positive beliefs. This can also be a fail-safe option if you are feeling instances of self-doubt. Remind yourself of your accomplishments and how far you've gone. Embracing discomfort and stepping outside of your comfort zone is transformative for most people. Discomfort can help you push through the fear and insecurities you might have. It will also help create a new level of creativity that you've never had before. Being able to step out of your comfort zone will give you a deep understanding of yourself, your strengths, and your limitations. As this happens, your resilience and perseverance will begin to grow. At that point, you'll be able to overcome the obstacles, cultivate humility, and continue to grow. With clear, specific goals, you'll be able to have a good idea of what needs to be done. You'll have a goal in mind and a roadmap that will help get you there. Meanwhile, you'll be able to face the challenges head on and plow through them with ease. The important thing to remember is that no matter how small or large the obstacles are, you'll be able to knock them down no problem. Be able to look for possible obstacles ahead of time when planning goals. Chapter 4. Navigating the obstacle course. Strategies for overcoming roadblocks. You're going to face plenty of obstacles, so much that it will feel like an obstacle course. So it's important to learn how to overcome them. This chapter will be the perfect guide to help you out. Problem solving is a skill that you'll want to develop in order to tackle these obstacles effectively. This will allow you to analyze the situation, identify possible solutions, and implement them without issue. The goal? Reach the desired outcome. Now, let's get right to it and talk about what you need to know to easily navigate the obstacles. How to develop problem-solving skills to tackle obstacles effectively. One of the best ways to solve problems is by breaking down a larger complex problem into something small and manageable. When you do this, it will be easier to understand what may be the root cause of the issue. From there, you'll be able to identify potential solutions. Being able to approach problems from an analytical standpoint will help you observe and examine the obstacles with a clearer mindset and develop an appropriate action plan. Your critical thinking skills will get sharper, making it more effective when tackling problems. You'll be able to evaluate information objectively. It will also help identify any fallacies or biases. This way, you can make a more informed judgment. Analyzing a situation critically will be key. Along with assessing the pros and cons of each solution you are considering to solve said issue. As an effective problem solver, you will be more resilient. You will also be easily adaptable. You'll know that these obstacles are all part of the process. Using them as growth tools will be able to turn you into someone who will be resilient and able to persevere, no matter how tough the challenges get. Finally, it's important to communicate well. When solving problems, it's always a good idea to talk to any parties involved, whether it's group members, clients, or anyone that may be vital to achieving the goals you set forth. This way, you'll see that creating a solution isn't a one-person band. It can be a team effort, if and when necessary. You have the type of setbacks that are common and can pop up at any time. Then you have the ones that you never think of, and they suddenly appear without warning. Yes, those can happen at any time. When you are dealing with an unexpected setback, you may be taken by surprise. Furthermore, you might be processing it in a way where you couldn't believe it could happen. The important thing to do is acknowledge the setback and accept that it happened. From there, you want to figure out the following: what really happened and how it came about. Like any other setback, it will give you a chance to examine it by breaking down every piece of it. Knowing the cause of an unexpected setback will give you a good idea to make plans to avoid them in the future. You know what can happen, even if it pops up out of nowhere. Keep in mind that there can be unexpected setbacks that can happen beyond your control. So if and when it happens, it happens. These kinds of setbacks are unavoidable, and they may be hard to stay ahead of if they are somehow unexpected. We cannot control what we cannot, nor can we predict the future with a crystal ball. Unexpected setbacks can occur at any given time, any place, no matter what. Adapting and adjusting after the fact may be one of the main things to do after they happen. Before doing that, figuring out how it happened in the first place is a must-do. If you want an invaluable tool, one is harnessing the power of creativity and resourcefulness, especially when it comes to overcoming challenges. If you are dealing with a setback, you might not have the regular tools or resources that may normally be used. If and when possible, you can use your own creativity and be able to invent a solution. Or you can come up with something outside of the box, using whatever resources you may have. Let's say, for instance, you have a document that needs to be written quickly. You don't have a computer, but there is Wi-Fi wherever you are. Leave it to your smartphone to help you get the job done. You can write it in Google Docs since it's accessible just about anywhere. Save it. Then email it to the necessary person. Sometimes, the most resourceful and creative solutions are hidden in plain sight. The real question is, do you have observant abilities to notice them faster than others? Being able to solve problems effectively will be useful when it comes to facing obstacles. The setbacks can even be unexpected. If you are aware of the obstacles that may lie ahead or not, the best thing to do is examine them and come up with a solution that will help you knock them down and press forward. It also never hurts to get a little creative. If you have the power to use that to put two and two together to make an innovative solution, even the slightest setback won't slow you down. Needless to say, no setback could be a tough challenger for one's creativity. Chapter 5. The Power of Resilience. Bouncing back from setbacks. Resilience is much more powerful than you realize. The thing to be aware of is that it will allow you to face the adversities, challenges, and setbacks life throws your way. When you face them, it can be easy to throw in the towel and give up. However, that is the guaranteed path to failure. So what is your other option? The answer: bouncing back. This chapter will provide you with solutions on how to get up, dust yourself off, and move forward after a setback has happened. Let's get started because we have quite a bit of ground to cover on the topic. If perseverance was a house, resilience is the foundation. This might be one of the best explanations of the relationship between the two. You will be able to develop inner strength to endure any challenges or setbacks that may occur. Both resilience and perseverance strengthen one another. When you persist in the face of adversity, an individual can cultivate resilience. All the while, they learn valuable lessons from the experiences they have been through. They'll be able to develop a greater sense of self-confidence and self-efficacy. They will be able to have the knowledge to overcome any challenges that happen in the future. Resilience and perseverance are both crucial for achieving your success, whether it's personal or professional. You can maintain motivation, focus, and determination while increasing your chances of reaching your goals and fulfilling your potential. The qualities of resilience and perseverance can be developed over time. It will take plenty of practice and execution. It will take trial and error, and it will help shape you into a different person. Emotional resilience can be effective when you are dealing with setbacks. When you deal with them, it's easy to get tied up in negative emotions. However, this should never be a recurring thing. It's easy to feel sadness, anger, or disappointment, but it can only be for a moment. Then, it will be time to figure out what went wrong. Instead of blaming yourself or others, you want to examine the issue. It can be a setback caused by factors that happen beyond your control. It might be your own fault if you created the setback through a series of mistakes. Building emotional resilience includes the following elements. Building self-awareness. Make yourself aware of how you're feeling at the moment you're dealing with a setback. Develop a growth mindset that will be beneficial. You already know how those who have this kind of mindset handle the setbacks that they encounter. In the next section, we'll show you how to develop one. Make self-care a priority. This includes taking care of your physical, mental, and yes, even emotional well-being. This can be done through exercise, diet, restful sleep, and even mindfulness. Expressing gratitude will be one of the best ways to build emotional resilience. It will help you think about how far you've come, who is part of your support system, and so much more. Emotional resilience will empower you. It will be another element that helps with navigating setbacks and failures a lot easier. One of the best steps to cultivate a growth mindset is to flip the script. For example, instead of letting the negative thoughts fester, flip it around. I can't can be switched to I can do this. Rather than say, I always mess up, it can be viewed as, I know I'll make a mistake, but it will be a learning lesson. The point is that you want to find a way to turn the negatives into a positive. Cultivating a growth mindset also means looking at things from a different perspective, meaning you need to label these so-called setbacks as failure. Get in the mindset that states the following: failure only happens when I have given up. It will be up to you to decide whether you want to make the changes necessary to challenge the negative thoughts and feelings and turn them into something positive. If you do this over time, thinking with the help of a growth mindset will set you apart from the others. Resilience can be built over time. On top of that, it's one of the major building blocks that gives perseverance its identity. It would also help to build emotional resilience as well. Being able to manage your emotions while handling setbacks will help you make better decisions, especially in critical times. Lastly, cultivate a growth mindset. This will be your biggest asset when it comes to achieving your goals. Without it, it will make things difficult. The sooner you start building a growth mindset, the better. Chapter 6. Cultivating a perseverance mindset. Building mental toughness. Now, we'll be focusing on cultivating a perseverance mindset. One of the best building blocks that is a part of it is mental toughness. Mental toughness is more or less similar to emotional resilience, which we had covered briefly in the previous chapter. This chapter will cover strategies that will help you build mental toughness and develop resilience, which will be helpful when facing adversity. You'll learn how to practice self-discipline and perseverance in your daily life. We'll also dive into mindfulness and how you can practice it on a regular basis to keep your stress under control. We are excited to share with you everything we know about mental toughness in this chapter. So let's begin. Without further ado, here are some strategies to consider for building mental toughness. Maintain the growth mindset. At this point, you are perhaps taking the necessary steps to building a growth mindset. You're catching yourself saying or thinking of negative things, and you are rerouting them into positive ones. You are probably viewing setbacks as learning lessons rather than the be-all to end-all. Prioritize self-care. Self-care has long been one of the best building blocks for mental toughness. Exercising and getting a good night's sleep are two of the best self-care practices. That's because they are linked to boosting and maintaining a good mood. Be optimistic. Already, you should have a good idea of developing a positive outlook. Focus on the possibilities rather than the negative. Be grateful for what you've accomplished and what you've got right now. Optimism is also one of the other building blocks for maintaining a growing mindset. Set and achieve realistic goals. Self-explanatory. At this point, you have a good idea to set clear, specific, and achievable goals. Make sure you have a clear roadmap outlining each stage from start to finish. Seek support. A support system will be there to provide you with whatever support you need. Knowing that you have it on hand will give you confidence. They will root for you and give you the positive reinforcement that will help keep you going. Another strategy we will mention is mindfulness. However, since it has its own section in this chapter, we'll cover it a bit later. Self-discipline is often useful when you are getting into daily routines. It will help you establish good habits and maintain focus on your priorities. The way to do this is to set clear goals and achieve them. But that doesn't stop there. You will also need to create a structured schedule while avoiding distractions. If you are scheduled to perform a task for a 2-hour period, i.e. 12 p.m. to 2 p.m., it would be a good idea to reduce the amount of distractions. This includes silencing your phone, shutting down any open web browser tabs you may have, and so on. Meanwhile, it is important that you practice self-discipline and catch yourself getting distracted if such instances occur. When you are performing a task, you still have the possibility of dealing with a setback. That's where perseverance comes into play. You can create the solutions that will allow you to navigate through the setbacks. You will need to be able to identify them, examine how they came about, and find a solution that will help keep you going to the end of your goal. One of the best aspects of self-discipline is to not get sucked into the negative. Negativity is more or less a distraction to keep yourself away from. Thus, using your ability to be self-disciplined will help you stay the course. Mindfulness is a practice where it allows you to be aware of what's around you. It will also heighten your overall awareness while allowing you the ability to control your stress levels. One of the easiest ways to practice mindfulness daily is by going to a quiet place, first and foremost. While you are there, take a few moments of your time for a breathing exercise. You can close your eyes if you want. Take a few minutes out of your day to focus on the breath. Inhale through the nose and exhale out through the mouth. You can even hold the inhale for a few seconds before you exhale. It can be as simple as a 5-minute session. If you are comfortable, you can do longer sessions. Whatever your schedule may look like, there's always a time of day where you can practice regular mindfulness exercises. Building mental toughness is possible when you implement the right strategies. As long as you are able to build it for the purpose of being emotionally resilient and perseverant, nothing can stand in your way. It's also a good idea to consider mindfulness as a daily habit. It takes a few minutes per day to help center yourself and allow you to control your stress. You will be more in tune with your emotions and able to manage them better even in times when the pressure is on. If anything, never underestimate the power of mindfulness. It will boost your mental health and allow you to forge that mental toughness that you will be building and maintaining for the rest of your life. Chapter 7. Harnessing the Power of Support. Building a Resilient Network. Having a support system will be great for building up your resilience and perseverance. Without them, we would be lost. It's important to have people who will root for you, celebrate your wins, and encourage you to go on even on the tough days. The important thing to remember is that having a support system, no matter how great or small, is powerful. Even if you think you don't have a support system, you already do. We'll explain one reason why here in this chapter. Enough talk. Let's move along and talk more about building a resilient network. Social support is vital in helping you build up your perseverance. On top of that, people believe that when it comes to the goals they want to achieve, they tend to do it alone. That might be true to an extent. However, there are people who are aware of your goals and endeavors. They are your accountability partners, your personal cheerleaders, and the people you celebrate wins with. There may be someone who may have the same goals as you do, and they can be part of your support system. This can be exchanged for you being a part of theirs. People in your support system are not always those who are trying to conquer the same goals as you. They're people sitting on the sidelines and cheering you on every step of the way. Some are people who know what you're going through because they have been there. You'll be able to reach out to someone if you are struggling with something, and chances are they'll provide you with valuable information on how to get out of it. Depending on your goal, it's always a good idea to find someone in your support group that knows about what you want to accomplish. These people can be your mentors. They can be your go-to people if you have questions or concerns related to your goals. Having that guidance in your front pocket will be able to get you ahead of any setbacks and obstacles that are thrown your way. Building a support network doesn't have to be tough. Here's how you can do it from start to finish. Use your existing connections. This is one of the most important starting points in building your support network. These are your friends, family, or anyone that may be relevant to the goals you set. Find someone with experience and understanding. This can be someone you can find both locally or even online. They can be a mentor that has been there, done that, and has seen almost everything about a certain goal you want to reach. This way, you will be able to have go-to people who will have answers to your questions and the guidance you need in case you are stuck with something complex. Find people you can trust. There will be days when the going will get rough, so it's important to find people who you can trust. More importantly, you want people who are willing to lend an ear and listen to you. These are people that you feel comfortable confiding in regarding your emotions, your struggles, and so on. Choose people who will support you no matter what. These aren't people who will come and go. These are people who will stick by you whether you struggle or succeed. We're talking about loyal people, not fair weather fans of yours. They are worthy of celebrating your wins, giving you encouragement, and cheering you on from the sidelines. Choose someone that will hold you accountable. This will be key when it comes to reaching stages of your goal. They will make sure you do the necessary tasks when and where necessary. A team can be its own support system. They will be able to uplift one another and help a member that may be struggling to fulfill the task. When working together, they are a powerful force. They are always looking out for one another. They are making sure that each of the team members are on the right page. When it comes to working together on solving problems, they come up with ideas by way of healthy discussion. They can support different ideas and experiment with them. This will ensure whether or not it's a great solution to any problems they may be facing. A powerful support network will be your best asset when it comes to building perseverance. They are the kind of people that will help provide you with a boost of confidence, an ear for when you need to talk about something, and so much more. As you accomplish each small goal, they will root for you. They will give you guidance and pointers for when you are stuck on something. Don't be afraid to reach out to them whenever you need help. And remember, requesting assistance is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength. Chapter 8. Beyond the Limit. Thriving in the Face of Adversity. In this final chapter, we'll be taking a look at how you can thrive in the face of adversity. Adversity is not the fearful foe most people make it out to be. No matter how small or large it may appear, it will be easier to face. You'll learn how to embrace a long-term perspective while maintaining perseverance. This will come in handy when you are dealing with challenges that last longer than normal. You'll learn how to discover untapped potential that you may have. And finally, you'll learn how to celebrate achievements and past successes, so they are great for fueling your future endeavors. We can see the finish line. Let's run down the home stretch and get there. When it comes to having a long-term perspective, it's important to understand the challenges that you face. Even if they are around for a little longer than normal, you want to realize that they are still temporary. Knowing this will help keep you resilient throughout the course of your journey. In the meantime, maintaining perseverance will help you push through the challenges. You need to maintain discipline, positive self-belief, and keep yourself committed to the desired outcome, even if it means breaking down any challenge into something smaller and manageable. It's also good to continue monitoring your progress. You want to make any needed changes on the fly based on the data you're keeping track of. Making adjustments is all part of the process. It can also lead you out of the extended challenge that you have faced over a period of time. There is a possibility that you have more potential than you realize. You may have hidden talents, abilities, and strengths you never knew you had. This will allow you to explore them in the best ways possible. Perseverance gives you the opportunity to press forward and find creative solutions to a problem you may be dealing with. Even if conventional options don't work, there's still a chance to create something not a lot of people have used. Meanwhile, it will help you discover more of yourself. You may inadvertently unveil a hidden talent or ability you didn't know was there before. When you do, you can use it to your advantage. Even after this undiscovered potential has been unearthed, it's always a good idea to continue using it, because you want to keep it as sharp as possible, since you never know if and when it will be used again to solve a problem. If you feel like nothing may be fueling your motivation towards your goal, there's one thing you can think of: your past successes. They are a reminder of how far you have gotten to accomplish them. You can think back to the times about how you felt when you finally accomplished something. You will remember that you pressed forward and were able to get the job done. You celebrated those accomplishments, feeling on top of the world. It's a way of saying, you've done something before. If you can do that, you can be successful at other things as well. So think back to your past successes and use them as inspiration to press forward with your newest goals and endeavors. Facing adversity, even for a lengthy period of time, will allow you to call upon your perseverance. At the same time, you will be able to unlock hidden talents and abilities that will be useful in helping you overcome those challenges. There will be times when things may seem endless. Remember, you have accomplished plenty. You know all too well the feeling of accomplishment and the relief you felt. Use that to your advantage. and you'll be able to press forward and rise above the challenges that slowed you down during the journey. Your past success will fuel you to be successful in the future. Give yourself enough time to think about those accomplishments, and you will feel inspired to move forward in the face of adversity. There you have it. We hope that you've used this book as a guide to help you build up your perseverance. Understand that while it's one thing to build it up, maintaining it is another. So, to give you one last reminder, make sure you stay resilient and remember to persevere and press forward in the face of challenges. Life may throw them your way at any time. The question is, will you be ready? You've learned how to understand the psychological and emotional aspects of resilience and perseverance. You are able to eliminate any self-limiting beliefs and turn them into something more positive. This way, rather than say that it can't be done, you can say it can. A more resilient and mentally tough, you will be no match for any challenge. It doesn't matter how long they last, or if they have any long-lasting effects. You will persevere and stay the course of your goals. You know how to strengthen yourself, to the point where no challenge, great or small, will weaken you. Maintaining mental toughness and perseverance is a lifelong skill. Whether you are 20, 40, or 80 years old, being able to do this easily will be great for any goal you set out to do. Another thing we recommend is to keep this book as a reference guide. You'll never know if and when you need to listen to it again to refer to a certain chapter or section. Thanks for listening to this book. We wish you all the best in your personal and professional endeavors, whatever those might be.